So hey everyone, it's me Brittany. I am here to make a really quick video about chosen ones and why do they have very strong enemies. Okay, it's important for us to discuss this right about now because it is a lot of spiritual warfare happening. Some of you may know what's going on with me and all the spiritual warfare that I've been under, right? Um, but I know that I'm learning and realizing that a lot of you are going through the very same things. Maybe not as intense. Some of you are just as intense. Of the issues that I'm going through, you're going through them as well. Okay, has something to do with that we're all one type of thing. Has something to do with the body of Christ type of thing too. And you can say it however you want to, whatever religion, whatever you believe, but there's different ways of saying the same thing is what I'm learning. Okay, there's different ways of saying the same thing. You call it tomato, I call it tomato. We all call it different things, but really at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. The character can look like this, the character will look like that, but the spirit of the character is the same. All right. So, anyways, and something that I just want to say. When everyone decides to unify instead of trying to be so politically correct, then things will change. But everyone wants to feel like they know everything, and that is why there's so many issues. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that another time. We're talking about why chosen ones have strong enemies. Okay, now I'm going to be making another video, and it's going to be saying pretty much the same thing in a different way. So sometimes your enemies are people, the ones, because you heard the saying that you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Okay, so in these stories that God has created, the Most High has created, your enemies a lot of times are your family members, as it says in the book of Matthew. I made a video about this before. In the book of Matthew, it talks about the members of your household are going to be your enemies. Okay, now there's nothing more truer than that. All right, but let's go a little further. The reason why is because a lot of us have our ascended masters, are people that what I like to say, to make it real simple, are biblical people that have returned. Okay, where spiritual beings that have returned, have reincarnated and returned to do some more work to help out the planet. Okay, and we are the people of the Bible. We have returned, and our enemies are also the same characters. Those enemies that were from the Bible as well, they have returned as well. Okay, and so in order to prove who we are, God has to put us to prove who we are and to prove how God has protected us. God has to have you around strong enemies. Okay, you have to be around strong enemies to prove God's power. All right, and your faithfulness to the Most High God. All right, so that's why we have strong enemies, and a lot of times they're the people the closest to us. Okay, and as you see, and what's interesting is, like, as it's going on and you seeing this stuff, you're like, why, you seeing it, oh, it can go this way and it can go that way. The storyline is going the way it's supposed to go. That's one thing I want everyone to understand. It's happening the way that it's supposed to happen. Okay, it's not happening by coincidence. This is how it's supposed to happen, to prove who the person is, to prove the power of the Most High God. Okay, so that's one thing I do want you to know. But again, staying on point, the strong enemies, the reason why you have them is to show you who you are, how powerful you are. Even if you feel you're weak and puny, you're not. Okay, it shows that you're like David with Goliath, you know what I'm saying, or Daniel in the lion's den, all those wonderful stories that you heard. That is, your life is like that. Joseph. Okay, I fit into every last one of them stories. They're like all made about me. I hate to say it like that, but the feminine side and the masculine side, both sides of the stories, just like, yeah. Okay, Cinderella, Rapunzel, I mean, you name it. Every story, every fairy tale, every biblical story, it's about me. And I know that some of you out there you fit in those stories as well. Okay. But anyways, because we're all one. All right. But some of these enemies, I'm realizing, like, you have no clue. Hopefully some of you are, but because some of it is unbelievable. You're like, why is this happening like this, and why is, and then you realize and you feel and you figure it out, like, wow, that was really that person. Oh, that was really Jezebel. Oh, that was really Baal. Oh, that was really, whoever. That's why those enemies seem so strong, is because I was really around these spirits. These spirits were inhabited into my family members. You know what I'm saying? Or people that I thought were my family. Once you come to that revelation, everything else is going to make sense. That you're that special, that you're that important, that you have those type of spirits around you. And God pulled you through. So whatever's going on, just keep going. These are also signs and wonders to show who you are, and show who, because everybody's different in their awakening, and to show who you are, and to show how much God is in your life, and the role that God is playing in your life, if you allow the Most High God to do so. All right. Well, anyways, I just want to leave it there. Again, chosen ones have strong enemies to prove who they are, to prove God in their life, and to keep the story going. All right, because there's nothing new under the sun. All right, take care.